surely the tradition of Hindu mysticism is a tremendously ascetic one. Isn't that true?
Very right.
In other words, you don't believe in asceticism.
No, I do believe, but it is not necessary for integration of life. It's not necessary to live completeness of life. That is a way of life for a man who doesn't want to live in society. Fine. But that can't be labeled as a prerequisite to realization.
But then how far would you consider that indulgence in sensuality and in appetites is compatible with your way of life?
I think 200% it is compatible.
In other words, people may eat, may drink.
Of course, and this is life. No? We use all these senses of perception and action, and through perceptions and actions, we enjoy life, we live life.
Yes, but let me, if I may,
yes?
Put what I consider to be the Christian view in this matter, which
yeah.
is that our perceptions are sharpened. They're more perceptive to the degree that we are abstemious, we are ascetic, like a runner who has to train.
Yes, he conserves energies.
So I would think myself that for spiritual understanding it is necessary to conserve spiritual energy in the same way.
But this conservation has nothing to do how a man lives and where he lives, whether in a palace or in a forest or cave. It's not concerned with the way of life.
But surely it is concerned with self-indulgence, isn't it? I mean, a man, for instance, let us take a very simple issue. A man, for instance, who eats enormously, won't his perceptions be blunted?
Of course, yes.
Therefore, he mustn't eat too much. We must limit to some extent.
Not limit, actually. Only the senses should be so trained that they function very normally in a useful manner.
Doesn't that imply some degree, at any rate, of restraint?
No, I wouldn't say restraint. I would say the culture of the senses in order that they function normally and bring fulfillment. Restraint is unnatural. Huh?
To me, absolutely necessary. I have a greedy, sensual nature. If I allowed this greedy, sensual nature to have complete freedom, I should be like a pig in a trough.
No, this will be when the greediness is not controlled in a natural way.
But what is the natural way?
Natural way is that the man should be more sensible. Naturally, he should think rightly.
Now let me put it in a slightly more general way. Let us take the case of America, for instance, or Scandinavia. Now these societies are societies which are based on the constant encouragement and stimulation of self-indulgence. This is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all the time through advertisements and so on saying to people, eat more,
and all sorts
indulge all your appetites more and more and more.
Yes.
Now, isn't it necessary to say that the way to spiritual understanding and fulfillment is not that way?
No, there we will be providing resistance to what is progress in the relative field of life. Once we start restricting, that is an obstacle to progress. What we say to them is, very well, go ahead on the outer life as much as you want, enjoy, bring fulfillment to you on all levels of senses. And the way to that is, be in tune with the infinite source of energy and intelligence that lies within you, so that the surface activity of life is anchored to that inner wisdom, to that inner fulfillment, to that bliss consciousness. We don't restrict the activity outside, only we anchor it so that it remains stable. And our anchorage is such that it gives more encouragement, more energy, more intelligence to bring fulfillment in a much deeper degree.
So that from your point of view, the traditional ascetics, for instance, of the Christian church, from, we'll say, St. Augustine to Tolstoy, were all mistaken. All mistaken. Because they all said, and it's a basic thing in the Christian religion, that I must die in the flesh, to live in the spirit.
This is not only in Christianity. The same thing is prevalent in India. And it is this which I say a wrong interpretation of the original teaching.
So you are against that proposition?
Absolutely.
The basic proposition of the Christian religion, that he who would keep his life must lose it, that I must die in the flesh to live in the spirit. From your point of view,
what we say is
mistakes.
Well, absolutely. This has to be revised. It must be revised in every religion, in Hinduism, in Christianity, in Islam, because this sense leads a man to be uncomfortable and indefinite in his householder's way of life. But this is good for the recluse order, yes.
But it's from this proposition that has come the whole spiritual life.
Very right.
Very right. From this proposition, which you say is wrong. And that these societies today, which I regard, as so bestial and degraded that it's impossible for me to speak of them with a calm voice, such as America and Scandinavia, that they're right. This is what you're saying.
No. I am saying this thing on the basis of a simple technique and on the basis of a very natural philosophy of life, which is capable of bringing the integration of inner spiritual values in the outer material way of life. All those people who advocated that this abstainment from desire and enjoyment is necessary for spiritual life, they did not know that life is as much spiritual as it is material. Inner aspect of life is all spiritual. Outer aspect of life is all material. So it's not that in order to live the spiritual life one has to abstain from material life, but there should be a technique to live spiritual life in the material world. Because life in the relative field cannot be closed. What at best can be done to it is supplement it with the inner spiritual glory of life. And that we do through transcendental meditation.